the truth about Grouplove and the reason that this band works is because we really are best friends. And when we go in the studio, we can drop the ego, and all listen to each other. So to make that work, we hang out all the time. We, drink together, and we know each other's families. We know each other's, we know everything about each other. It's like someone's going through this shit. I know it. I know what's happening. There's no like, we don't come in and we're just like people who haven't seen each other, and it's like a session, we're like, we go from someone's house into the studio and start writing. So we're just continuing the hang. And that has always been the thing about this band, is like, it's never been a job, and it makes the music. That's why I think each of our albums, it's maybe so different, but also like, I feel this growth, and we're 10 years, 11, 12 years into the band, and we're growing. There's no like looking back for us. I've been doing these, I guess I would call them tags almost, but since the band started, I've been doing this like broken heart, but when you look at it, it's two people kissing. And I've been doing that in like every dressing room, sometimes outside of venues, sometimes on street signs, whatever. I've been kind of tagging them, I guess, all over the world. And I started realizing like it was a really cool way of almost branding things that Grouplove does. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more. So that was just the first thing. I've been asked to do a mural in Atlanta. I'm going to do the heart, the broken heart. And I just want it to be like, this like beautiful symbol that like Grouplove been here on everything. So I'm actually trying to do a pair of Crocs right now, which I think is sort of the Croc phase, but I think it's sort of, it's actually funny because I reached out to Crocs to do them, and the next day they dropped the Post Malone Croc, and it like sold out in like 10 hours. And I was like, oh, I guess this isn't an original idea at all. But when I paint, there's this show, I can't remember it, but it was like probably an early 2000s show about kids with like magical powers. And there's this one dude who could paint the future. I remember when I saw him, and I'm not saying I have magical powers at all, so don't take it that way, but his eyes roll back, and he will paint this painting of the future, and then he'll come back and he'll be like, oh my God, like Jenny's gonna die, and he could like see it because he painted it. But I feel like when I'm painting, I it's almost like I black out. Like I can't explain my process to anyone. I have, a color palette maybe, and an idea, but really I'll like come out of it and be like, step back. Hopefully by that point I haven't ruined the piece, because sometimes I overpaint things and I'll just like whatever. But I really do go into this total state of, I don't know, I just get lost in it. And it's super important for me to paint and just go there. It's like, I think it's deeper than meditation, because there's no I don't have to focus to do it. I just get lost. And I hate when I overpaint painting. I hate it. Like stopping before it's done to me is so much more beautiful and revealing of the process than overpainting something and covering up. I just don't, and I honestly, that's what I love about this, to bring it back to music, is it's just, we haven't covered up the marks, it is what it is. There's no like overdubbing, and it's just, that's what it is. We did that in the studio, predominantly live, and I love that. And I think just who knows, maybe our next album's just going to be like one note and a vocal. It's going to be breaking it down. But it's just interesting because we were looking back, we've been doing these live streams, these monthly live streams on called This Is This Moment on momenthouse.com. Anyway, and we're about to play tomorrow night, actually, the whole Spreading Rumors album front to back. And just going back and listening to it, I was like, wow, I mean, it's amazing. I love how different each album is, but it's amazing how much we put on that album. Like there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of harmonies, there's a lot of vocal doubles, there's a lot of double guitar, there's a lot of effects and reverb and delay, whatever. There's just a lot going on. And I'm wondering if it's because we didn't, maybe we didn't fully know what we were trying to make yet, or what we sounded like. We were really new at the time. And so I have a conversation with the band every time we're in the studio, which is sort of like, and this is like, I don't think of myself as an uptight person, but I think knowing when people are coming and going in a room is really important for me. Like if someone's like girlfriend drops by, or like a homie bringing weed over, or whatever it is, like that can interrupt an entire thing. Like once it's interrupted, it's gone. You don't just go back in and you're like, okay, let's work on that. Like it's sort of, if you're in the momentum of writing and it's interrupted, I don't normally get that back. So I'm like, if I'm going to go in and paint, I'll be like, don't let nobody come in until I come out. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. I mean, sometimes I have to say it's good, and I'm actually grateful to be taken out of it, whether I take myself out or someone comes in. Because then if I'm painting in particular and I've been in there for a while, I can step back and look what I've been doing and then reapproach it with a song. It's actually very hard for me to get back into it, especially in the early stages when you're just working something out, because there's something that just gets lost. Like it's a certain vibration that I can't find again, especially being so like, I almost want to say just like, I don't know how to play instruments well enough to kind of get back into it. So I'll be like hearing something and it will be building and I'll be finding it. And if it gets interrupted, yeah, it just disappears. It's like I can see the song, but I'm not really sure where I'm going with it yet. There's like a part of me that already knows what's happening. And I'm just, it's like things that happen simultaneously. It's really hard to explain, but it's almost like I see it in, colors is at the same time as I can feel it coming together. And it's just about hitting those notes and that melody at the same time. Well, I mean, friendship is obviously right there, and deep friendships. That is something that, just trust and building on that regularly. I mean, I have some friends I feel blessed where I don't need to keep in constant contact, but there's a beauty in, my friendship with these guys. That's just an everyday, we trudge through it together, and we there've been so many waves, but the goal is always to be close and know and keep each other just up to date. So that's a beautiful thing that I'm like forever grateful for. I mean, love is how I like to approach life, so um yeah, I mean, I find it inspiring when I feel that love, I don't know, love is just, it's a vibration. So if I can live in that space, it's inspiring. And I think it first comes from me setting that example, and then it's a ripple effect, like at the end of a group love show, I can feel the love in the whole room. That's group love. Like the whole show, all our whole audience, the whole goal is we're trying to make a giant world of group love,